And now the starting lineup for your Fighting Saints. At one guard spot, a sophomore from Frankfort, Illinois, number 3, at the other guard spot, a 5'7" junior from Toowoomba, Queensland, Australia, number 10, Georgia Bolton. At one forward spot, a 5'7" sophomore from St. Charles, Illinois, number 25, Talia Pellegrini. And at the other forward spot, a 5'6" sophomore from Oak Lawn, Illinois, number 35, Mia Canelli. Rounding out the lineup in the middle, the 6'1" freshman from Elgin, Illinois, number 31, Bailey Johnson. Fighting Saints are coached by Mr. John McKenzie.
From Joliet, Illinois, and the University of St. Francis, it's time for Fighting Saints basketball. Today, the Saints take on the Saints of Aquinas College. An all-Saints matchup, a very holy evening in the arena tonight as University of St. Francis tries to bounce back after taking a tough three-point loss against conference rivals Indiana Northwest on Saturday. Terry Bonadonna with you for the next couple hours as St. Francis tries to get back in the win column. They come into today's match with a 5-4 record. Aquinas is 3-5, but they are the winners of today's opening tip. Aquinas in maroon goes from left to right to get us started today. The Fighting Saints of St. Francis are in white. They'll move from right to left to get us started in this one. Sierra Hardy gives it up to Paige Guernsey, and Guernsey has the first points of the game, scoring from in the paint to make it 2-0 Aquinas. Guernsey entered play today third on the team in scoring at 6.8 points per game. Bailey Johnson in tight for the Saints, not able to finish. Johnson averages 8 a game for St. Francis. This is Ashlyn Wilkes setting things up for Aquinas. Short jumper is good for Alexis Thomas from nearly the same spot that Guernsey scored from on the last possession. Thomas is on the board. And early on, Aquinas is doing a good job of utilizing everybody. Typically, this is a two-woman show, but neither of those two women have scored yet as Lorelei Thormeyer tries a three from the corner, misses off the rim. Offensive rebound, Georgia Bolton, and Bolton is fouled on her way up. That foul goes against Paige Guernsey, and it'll send Bolton to the line for 2 shots. Starters for Aquinas are Wilkes, Alana Blackwell, Thomas Guernsey, and Sierra Hardy. For St. Francis, Bolton is joined by Thormeyer, Talia Pellegrini, Bailey Johnson, and Mia Canelli. It's Bolton at the free throw line, trying to get the Saints on the scoreboard for the first time. She's an 82% foul shooter. She's made 14 of 17 attempts for the season, and she misses the first one here. So St. Francis still looking for their first point, trailing by 4 in the early minutes. Second shot's good. Bolton goes 1 of 2. The junior guard has her first point and the team's first point of this evening. Aquinas trying to make it 3 of 3 from the field on this possession. This is Alana Blackwell driving, layup no. Offensive rebound, and a jump ball is called. Hardy grabbed the rebound, but Thormeyer and Canelli were both there to put their hands on top of the ball and force the tie-up. Possession arrow favors the Fighting Saints after the non-Fighting Saints won the opening tip. And it's the first time today that Aquinas has come up empty. Mia Canelli bounces once, passes it around to the left wing. It's Lorelei Thormeyer. Out to Bolton, down to the corner, Mia Canelli. Into the post, Bailey Johnson is fouled. The foul was called, I believe, before Johnson received the pass. A push from behind on Alexis Thomas. So the first on Thomas, second on Aquinas. Bolton bounces it into Johnson. Johnson in traffic, throws it towards the hoop, and misses everything. Here comes Aquinas. Blackwell leads it down the floor. Fires across court. This is a drive from Wilkes. Pull up. Wilkes misses short. Rebound grabbed by Kennelly. Mia Kennelly had 10 rebounds on Saturday against Indiana Northwest. She's got her first today. Georgia Bolton streaks to the hoop and misses the runner off the backboard. Brian Morris tells his Aquinas team to slow it down a little bit as they set up their offense. They scored on their first 2 possessions, but have come up empty on their last 2. St. Francis is sitting on just 1 point through 2.5 minutes. Cutting Blackwell is fouled by Johnson. Good cut from Alana Blackwell as she received the pass inside. Johnson came down on top of her. First foul on St. Francis and the freshman Johnson. And Blackwell goes to the line, the leading scorer this season for Aquinas. She makes the first free throw. Alana Blackwell, 73% from the line. Close to half of the free throws this year that have been taken by Aquinas have been taken by Blackwell. She typically has the ball in her hands at some point on every possession. She's got her first 2 of the game, 6-1. Aquinas has the lead. Talia Pellegrini drives. Pellegrini inside, layup, no. Good challenge from Ashlyn Wilkes, and Wilkes comes the other way with it. It's Ashlyn Wilkes, not Ashley Wilkes. Inside, Guernsey lays it up and in, 8-1. Ashley Wilkes is one of the main characters, I think, in Gone with the Wind, isn't he? The one that Scarlett O'Hara was in love with, but he was married to Olivia de Havilland. I don't remember her character's name. Anyway, this is Ashlyn Wilkes. This is Georgia Bolton missing the 3. Wilkes grabs the rebound. Ahead for Alexis Thomas. Lob down low, Blackwell. Blackwell posting up on Pellegrini. Turnaround misses, and the rebound is grabbed by Bailey Johnson. Here come the Fighting Saints. 3.5 minutes in, still looking for their first field goal. Thormeyer kicks it out to Pellegrini. Pellegrini drives right by Wilkes, but misses the layup. Second time in a row that Pellegrini has made a nice move to get to the basket and just flat out missed at the rim. So the Saints are still scoreless from the field. And a whistle, an offensive foul called against Aquinas. Second foul already on Alexis Thomas. Georgia Bolton sits down for the Saints. Takara Harrison comes in. Aquinas makes a substitution, bringing in senior guard Maddie Cermak. Bryn Reams, the sophomore forward, also checks in. Here's Harrison backing in on Cermak. She picks the ball up and passes out to Lorelei Thormeyer. Thormeyer over to Bailey Johnson from the free throw line. Turnaround jumper is good. Bailey Johnson gets the Saints' first bucket of the day. Took them a little bit over 4 minutes. St. Francis pulls within 5 of Aquinas in this first quarter. Blackwell, long three-pointer. That's short. Saints will give that shot to anybody who wants it all day. This team does not make three-pointers typically. Inclusive of Blackwell, who does take a lot of them. Blackwell only makes about 24%. Takara Harrison misses badly on the 3. She likewise has not been good from beyond the arc, a 23% three-point shooter. In fact, neither one of these teams shoots the ball well from the outside. Saints as a team are just 29% on three-pointers. That's the Fighting Saints. The Aquinas Saints can only dream of that good a number. They're shooting 22% from beyond the arc this year. So expect to see a lot of inside play in this game. That's what we've seen so far. Blackwell, guarded by Kennelly, takes a dribble at the top of the key, hands it off to Cermak. Cermak with an S, not to be confused with the former Chicago mayor. Blackwell misses the runner. Rebound grabbed by Kiki Gray. Her first rebound of the game. Mia Kennelly back to Lorelei Thormeyer. Thormeyer loses it. Loose ball scooped up by Paige Guernsey. Ahead for Alana Blackwell. Blackwell layup, good. 4 points for Alana Blackwell. who has scored 20 or more in 7 out of 8 games this year for Aquinas. She will be tough to stop today, and so far hasn't been. Stakara Harrison is called for the travel. Started off with a step, and the Fighting Saints turn it over. 10-3, Aquinas leads by a touchdown and an extra point. St. Francis calls a timeout to talk things over on the sideline. That's Adam Schwarzentraub calling the timeout. He's the head coach in today's game, with the usual head man, John McGinty, sidelined after his ejection on Saturday. Jimmy Copenhaver and Maria Cruz Uceda are over on the St. Francis bench as well, but it is Schwarzentraub, the third-year assistant, who steps up into the head coaching position with John McGinty out. Schwarzentraub coached the majority of Saturday's game against Indiana Northwest. You can make an argument that he won his part of the game because they trailed by 20 points when he took over, and they ended up losing by 3. In fact, St. Francis trailed by 22 on Saturday. They came back and tied the score late before ultimately falling 75-72. Actually, 79-76 was the final score. Here's Hardy down low, going up over Gray. No good. Gets her own rebound. Blocked by Gray, but a foul is called. St. Francis was fired up in the second half on Saturday. Again, turning a big deficit into a very narrow defeat. But they have not brought that same fire into the first half today, at least the first 5 minutes. Struggling on both ends of the floor thus far, as Hardy's first free throw is good. Obviously, credit belongs to Aquinas as well. Aquinas Saints playing very well in this one up to this point. Hardy goes 2 for 2. Sierra Hardy came into today's game averaging 15 points per game. Blackwell scores 25. That means those two players by themselves account for over 60% of Aquinas' scoring so far this year. Those were the first 2 points of this game for Hardy. Harrison inside to Gray. Gray backs in, puts it up off the backboard with the right hand and in. First points of the game for Gray. Both field goals today for St. Francis have come from their centers. And the Saints are back within 7. After very briefly trailing by 9. Step back jumper misses from Bryn Reams. Harrison nearly lost it out of bounds, but she keeps it alive. Saints basketball down by 7. Sophomore guard Lorelei Thormeyer sets up Georgia Bolton in the corner. Bolton misses the 3. Kennelly tips the rebound, tries to keep it alive, but can't. No go for the Fighting Saints. Aquinas gets it back as St. Francis puts on a little pressure with Georgia Bolton in the backcourt. Try a little 1-3-1 trap here. Harrison steps in to try for the trap. Pass is sent off to the right side though. Hardy back to Blackwell. 3-pointer. Rims out. Rebound grab by Gray. Thormeyer across half court. Hands it off to Harrison. Takara Harrison looking for help. Gets the screen from Gray. Rolls towards the hoop. Harrison lays it up and misses. A lot of missed layups in this first quarter for St. Francis. Blackwell the other direction. Picks it up. Bounces inside. Deflected. And scooped up by Reams, who loses it. Thormeyer comes out of the fray with the loose ball. A steal for Lorelei Thormeyer. Another chance for the Saints to cut into the deficit. Harrison drives. Harrison spins to the basket. Another missed layup. Gray fights for the rebound. Gets it, scores, and gets to the line. Big play from Kiki Gray. I'm not sure she ever left her feet. She tapped the rebound to herself. And as she pulled it in one motion, went up with the shot and was fouled by Bryn Reams. So Gray, the junior from Belleville, Illinois, goes to the line to try to make this a 3-point play. Gray is 5 for 8 from the line this year. 6 for 9. It's a 4-point game. Aquinas has led by as many as 9 in this first quarter. St. Francis went well over 4 minutes before connecting on their first field goal. They've got 3 of them now, and all from centers. Blackwell Crosses over on Bolton, jump stop in the paint, puts up the shot and scores. Alana Blackwell has 6 points for Aquinas, the nation's third leading scorer. Off to another good start today. Pellegrini works into the left side, out to Bolton, thought about the three, instead she carries down low. Bolton turnaround misses, rebound grab by Aquinas. Ashlyn Wilkes passes off to the right. This is Paige Guernsey. Down low Reams, right back to Guernsey outside the three-point line. Guernsey takes it inside, kicks to Wilkes, three-pointer. No good, a little bit too strong. Good form from Wilkes, but as usual, Aquinas is struggling from outside the three-point line. Kiki Gray is called for a moving screen for St. Francis. Foul against the Saints, a turnover. Aquinas takes the ball back, leading by 6. That's the first, or rather the second foul on Gray. Fourth on St. Francis. A little bit of foul trouble from the Saints bigs as Gray has 2, Bailey Johnson has 1. Neither are on the floor right now as Gray leaves in favor of Talia Pellegrini. Small lineup for the Saints, but Aquinas doesn't offer a ton of size either. Blackwell along the baseline. Her pass deflected by the backboard, still finds its intended target, but Sierra Hardy misses the jumper from 2-point range, and Kennelly grabs the long rebound for St. Francis. 75 seconds left in the first quarter. Thormeyer for 3, no good. High bounce on the rebound, finds its way to Blackwell. Blackwell, 2-on-2, takes it inside herself, dishes to Hardy, who scores. That's a nice play by Alana Blackwell. Good court vision from Blackwell, who typically is the big scorer on the team. She shows that she can set up her mates as well. Aquinas now doubling up St. Francis. Pellegrini misses a 3. Fight for the rebound, tip towards the sideline and out of bounds. Belongs to the Saints, 20 on the shot clock. Just under 39 seconds to play in the period. Harrison will inbound for the Fighting Saints. Hasn't been a great quarter so far for St. Francis, but they'd like to go out on a high note. Score a basket here. Harrison for 3, short. Neither team has made a three-pointer yet today, not for a lack of effort. Cermak nearly lost the ball. Pellegrini was not able to chase it down, so Cermak keeps it alive for Aquinas. 5-second difference between the shot and game clocks here. Wilkes doesn't waste any time, fires the 3, another miss. Rebound tipped around, brought in by Aquinas, and Blackwell scores off the assist from Emily Bissett. Bissett kept the possession alive. Blackwell's now got 8 points in the first quarter. 5 seconds to play in the period. Thormeyer up top to Kennelly, three-pointer, misses off the backboard, and that's how the first quarter ends. An ugly shooting period for the Fighting Saints, ugly from three-point range for both teams. I said at the start of the broadcast, it was probably going to be an inside game primarily because neither one of these teams shoots threes very well. Instead, at least over the last 2 to 3 minutes, they've really made a point of going to the outside, but it's worked out about as well as you'd expect based on the numbers I read earlier. Neither team hitting from three-point range early. And for St. Francis, they've had trouble hitting from a lot of locations. 2 field goals for Kiki Gray, 1 for Bailey Johnson. All of those coming from in the paint. And then they've got a couple of free throws as well, but they're just 3 of 19 shooting and 0 for 8 from three-point range. Aquinas, after 1 quarter of play, is 0 for 4 on three-pointers. So these two teams have combined to go 0 for 12, but the difference is that Aquinas is hitting the inside shots. They are 7 of 14, shooting 2-pointers today. And so they've got a big lead after 10 minutes of play. Second game in a row, the Saints have gone down big early. We'll see if they have the same response that they were able to have on Saturday, and if this time maybe they can light that fire a little bit earlier, considering it turned out to be a little bit too little too late in the loss on Saturday. Good run for Kiki Gray off the bench. 5 points, 4 rebounds, and only 4 minutes played for St. Francis in the first quarter, but she's also picked up a couple of fouls, so she's on the bench for the time being. Bailey Johnson, by the way, I missed one of her fouls. She has 2 as well. So that's why they went so small at the end of the first quarter and are staying that way for the start of the second quarter. Both Johnson and Gray, their two centers, have a pair of fouls right now. So decisions to be made as far as how to use the substitutes for Adam Schwarzentraub, the fill-in head coach today with John McGinty out for the day. Aquinas ball to start the second quarter, and the ball's thrown out of bounds. Last touch by Emily Bissett. Sloppy drive from Bissett there. I don't know if she was just trying to draw the contact, but she didn't get the foul called and kind of threw the ball up willy-nilly. Ended up flying out of bounds. So Fighting Saints basketball here. Saints trail by 10. It was a 4-point game recently, but Aquinas has scored the last 6. Harrison's three-point effort is blocked. Block from Wilkes, who hands it off to Blackwell. Alana Blackwell bounces it in. 10 points already for Blackwell, 4 of 9 shooting in the first 11 minutes of today's game. She has been very aggressive to start today's game, and it's paid off for her. Georgia Bolton over to Mia Kennelly. Saints work the perimeter. It's Bolton on the wing. Bolton puts it on the floor, drives by Guernsey and draws the foul as she finishes with a layup. Nice play by Georgia Bolton, who can make it a 3-point play from the line. 9:08 to play first half. Aquinas up by 10. Georgia Bolton is 1 of 2 at the line. She's got 3 points for the game. Bolton is the first one to score on a non-set shot. All 8 of the points from the field that the Saints have scored have come in the paint. Bolton makes the free throw. So she's got 4 points now. Aquinas is able to break the press. Cermak just barely stays in bounds, walking the tightrope. Bounce to the outside. Emily Bissett knocks down the jumper. 2-pointer for the sophomore forward, her first 2 of the game. Aquinas again doubling up St. Francis. Harrison tries to end that and does with a nice layup. Saw a fair amount of good drives from the Saints in the first quarter, but they weren't able to finish necessarily at the rim. I want to say there were 4 or 5 missed layups in the first period for St. Francis, but that time Harrison was able to finish. A nice drive. Makes it a 9-point game. Thrown away by Alana Blackwell. Here's Harrison for St. Francis, giving it up to Bolton. Bolton, nice fake, gets Blackwell in the air. She drives right past her and lays it in. Georgia Bolton as a team leading 6 points as St. Francis pulls within 7. Now it's back to 9 as Maddie Cermak banks it in from the left side. 2 minutes into the second quarter. Both teams moving a little bit now. The offenses have picked it up. Aquinas' lead is 9 points. Harrison gives to Bolton. Georgia Bolton takes a few dribbles before passing back to Talia Pellegrini. Thormeyer working on Blackwell. Crosses over off the foot of Blackwell, and the loose ball is picked up by Ashlyn Wilkes. Wilkes, wide open 3. No good. We still have not seen a 3-pointer made in this game. Rebound grab by Emily Bissett. Here's Cermak. Jumper from 2-point range is good. We're living in the paint early in today's game. Both teams have had the vast majority of their production in the key. Kennelly gives it up outside to Harrison. Harrison works her way down low. Harrison is fouled. And she'll go to the line for 2. Ashlyn Wilkes is whistled for her first. Third on the team. That could play a factor here in the second quarter as the Saints start to stockpile the free throws. Harrison's first attempt is good. As a team, St. Francis 4 of 5 from the line so far today. Harrison has 3 points, looking for number 4. And has number 4. 26-17 with just over 7 minutes to play in the half. Blackwell drives on Bolton, dishes it into the corner. This is Sierra Hardy. Back outside, 3-pointer is no good from Hannah Outlaw. Ball loose, and Outlaw tracks it down. Bounced into nobody. I'm not sure if she was looking for Hardy or Cermak. They both had their back to Outlaw at the time the pass was thrown. And it's an easy interception for the Saints. Mia Kennelly's three-pointer misses. Quick shot from the Fighting Saints. Aquinas ball. Up by 9, looking to make it double digits. Cermak on the left side. Drives with the right hand, kicks it out. Splitting two defenders. Not able to finish. Blackwell gets it back, and a foul is called on the way up. 2 free throws for Aquinas. Alana Blackwell made a nice drive to get around a couple of Fighting Saints. Missed the shot, but she fought for her miss, and she kept it alive. Now Blackwell's at the line as Georgia Bolton is called for her first foul. Blackwell is 2 of 2 from the line so far today. She's already got 10 points. There's number 11, 27-17. Second shot good for Blackwell as well. Thormeyer up to Harrison. Left side, this is Akaya Baker just in for the first time today. Out to Thormeyer. Thormeyer's pass to Pellegrini deflects off the back of the official and goes out of bounds. If the ball hits the official and stays in play, it's still a live ball, so that was a tough break for the Fighting Saints because it hit off the back of the referee in such an angle that it ended up deflecting to the sideline, did not keep the play alive. Bailey Johnson is back on the floor for St. Francis. She's playing with 2 fouls, as is Alexis Thomas, so they're looking around. Thomas is still out there. I thought maybe she just checked out. I didn't see her. But no, she is still on the floor. Thomas playing with 2 fouls for Aquinas. Johnson for St. Francis. 10 on the shot clock for Alana Blackwell. Blackwell dishes it off to Outlaw, and Outlaw misses a 3. She's 0 for 2. Rebound deflected, loose on the floor, and we've got a jump ball. Possession arrow, St. Francis. The home team's had a problem finding an offensive rhythm so far in today's game. They trail by 11. There's time to get rolling here. They haven't dug themselves too big a hole. Baker and Thormeyer in the backcourt. Lorelei Thormeyer bounces over to Bailey Johnson, who hands it right back, and Thormeyer traveled. Alexis Thomas sets up the Aquinas offense. Bounce to Alana Blackwell, takes it down low. Blackwell with 2 defenders on her, not able to finish. Thormeyer on the run the other way. Thormeyer out to Baker. Kennelly lobs it to the high post. It's Bailey Johnson working down low on Outlaw, off the glass and in. Nice touch from Bailey Johnson. She's got 4. Saints are hanging around. They haven't played their best basketball game for sure, but they trail by just 9 late in the first half. Turnaround for Outlaws too hard off the backboard, and Baker comes down with it. Here's Baker driving on Cermak. Can't finish on her way to the rim, looking for contact, but Cermak's defense was clean enough. Hardy drives from the left side and lays it in. Off the pass from Alexis Thomas. Talia Pellegrini tried to jump in front of the pass. When she missed it, it left an open lane for Hardy. Hardy's got 6 points now for Aquinas. I said at the beginning, she and Blackwell typically combine for about 60% of the team's points, as Baker makes a nice little floater. 30-21. Inside Outlaw, layup, no. Rebound Johnson. Lorelei Thormeyer out to Mia Kennelly. 3-pointer, no. Still looking for our first. Hardy and Blackwell today have a combined 18 of their team's 30, so that's exactly 60% of the points today. Blackwell trying to add 3 more, but 3-pointers have a way of not going in this game. Offensive rebound, Aquinas. 12 on the shot clock. Long 2 for Cermak. That doesn't go either. Rebounded by Mia Canelli. Aya Baker at the top. Scored her first 2 of the game a few moments ago. Trying to add 3 more to the total, but she misses the 3. Rebound deflected to the baseline, and Outlaw was standing out of bounds. I wonder if anybody's ever done a study. Do players named Outlaw get the calls against them more often than everybody else? It's a study worth commissioning. You just assume those outlaws are always in the wrong. She was on the baseline as she touched that ball. She heads to the bench. Kiki Gray back in for St. Francis, but she's not able to corral the inbounds pass. Bissett going the other way, out of her hands and out of bounds. So a sloppy play. Ball a little bit out in front of Gray. Wasn't able to reach far enough for it, and Bissett had a chance to capitalize on the other end. The ball slipped right through her hands. Fighting Saints come out the better for it. They get the ball back, just over 2.5 minutes to play. Down by 9. Lob down low for Gray. Gray's layup is good. So both Gray and Johnson have been out there now with 2 fouls, and they've both done yeoman's work in foul trouble, keeping the Saints alive in the game as Bolton is called for the foul on Sierra Hardy down low. Gray and Johnson have combined for 11 points and 6 rebounds so far today, and that's despite playing most of the time that they've been out there with multiple fouls apiece. Saints need the production from up and down the lineup, though. Sierra Hardy makes the first free throw. 31-23 Aquinas, 2:22 on the clock, first half. The second free throw rolls in. Aquinas is a perfect 8 of 8 from the line so far today. 4 of those shots belong to Hardy. She's now got 8 points for the game. Pellegrini drives. Pellegrini turns around, passes out to Takara Harrison, who knocks down the 3. Our 21st three-point attempt of the game. It's the first one to go in, and it's a big one for the Fighting Saints. Harrison's got 7, and a foul is called on the offense. Blackwell pushed off on Harrison, and after getting the 3, she takes a charge and gives the ball back to the Fighting Saints, down by only 6 with under 2 minutes to play in the half. Momentum has shifted towards the home side here. Thormeyer walks to her right, passes up top Pellegrini. Pellegrini finds Takara Harrison on the wing, gets the screen, rolling down the lane, kick back outside Thormeyer. Thormeyer crosses over, down to the corner Harrison. 7 to shoot. Harrison nearly stripped, keeps it alive, out to Thormeyer. That's 2 in a row for the Saints. Harrison and now Thormeyer, and the Fighting Saints are within 3. The Aquinas Saints have the ball, trying to recapture the rhythm they had earlier. Inside, Wilkes misses badly. Offensive rebound, Guernsey kicks it out to Hardy. Her 2-point jumper misses. Another offensive rebound. Wilkes tracks it down again, and Blackwell is fouled. Third chance of the possession for Aquinas. Haven't turned it into points yet. It's been a while since Aquinas has converted from the field, over 3 minutes of game time. They have hit a couple of free throws during that stretch. But St. Francis, who has been down by as many as 11 points in this first half, actually it was 12 for a moment early in the second quarter. They are within 3. Alana Blackwell loses it. Ball loose. Blackwell comes back up with it, and she's called for the double dribble. Blackwell lost it on her own. There were Saints there who were trying to grab that loose ball, but none of them ever touched it and knocked the ball loose. So for Blackwell, it was a double dribble and a turnover committed by Aquinas. Under a minute to play. St. Francis can tie on this shot, and they don't as Harrison misses the three. Blackwell comes down with it. Probably the last offensive possession of the half for Aquinas. They want to make it count. It's now been 4 minutes since their last field goal. A drive and a layup for Alexis Thomas. That's a big one for Aquinas. It allows them to go into the half with a little bit more offensive momentum. You never want to go into a long break knowing that you haven't hit a field goal in 4.5 minutes of game action. They're up by 5. They'll have the lead heading into halftime, but the Saints can make it just a 2 or a 3-point game depending on what they do on the final possession of the half. No shot clock, 6 on the game clock. Pellegrini drives. Pellegrini with 3 seconds, gives it back to Canelli. Three-pointer rims out, and it's no good. Halfway down, Canelli was not able to get a friendly bounce from the rim. So the Saints are down by 5, not where they would like to be, but not as bad as it could have been. It was a 12-point game early in the second quarter, and now 34-29 at halftime. On the other side, the Saints feeling pretty good about themselves. The Aquinas Saints played a strong first half, went through a rough patch late in the half, but bounced back nicely with the 2-pointer in their final possession from Alexis Thomas. So we've got 15 minutes between now and the next basketball action down on Pat Quigley Court. I'll step aside during that break, but I'll be back with some first half stats, and we'll be ready to roll with half number 2. St. Francis trying to play comeback. They trail 34-29 at halftime. We're getting set for the start of the second half at the University of St. Francis. The Fighting Saints taking on the Saints of Aquinas College and trailing 34-29 after the first 20 minutes of hoops. Terry Bonadonna with you once again as we get set to commence the third quarter of this game. Some quick stats from the first half. The shooting left a lot to be desired. Aquinas was 37% from the field. St. Francis 32%. I made a big point of it in the first half. I don't want to dwell too much on it. But the outside shotting really was not good. 0 for 9 for Aquinas. St. Francis made their last 2 of the half, so they went 2 of 14, or they made 2 of their last 4, I should say. They were 2 of 16 overall in the half. Individually, Takara Harrison and Keisha Gray came off the bench for St. Francis, 7 points apiece. They led the way for the Fighting Saints in the first half. For Gray, those 7 points came in just 5 minutes. Mia Kennelly, 5 rebounds to lead the team. She, though, has not scored. She's 0 4 from the field. For Aquinas, no surprise, Alana Blackwell, the Indiana State transfer, has a team-high 12 points. Blackwell also has 5 rebounds and 2 assists in 20 minutes on the floor, and that's typical as well. Blackwell does not leave the court. She averages 38 minutes per game, which is just an astounding number. Ashlyn Wilkes, 0 of 5 from the field, but she's contributed for Aquinas. She's got 7 rebounds and a blocked shot. We're ready to start the second half. It's Aquinas ball. They flip sides. The visiting Saints go from right to left for the second half of basketball. They ended the first half with a bucket, so trying to make it a quick 4 or 5 in a row here after St. Francis had pulled within 3. Three-pointer from the right side, Paige Guernsey rims out. That's as close as they've come to knocking one down, but they are 0 of 10 now from three-point range. Down under 21% for the season. Drive from Georgia Bolton. Bolton flips it up, no good. Bailey Johnson is there for the rebound, but it's knocked out of her hands, out of bounds. It's still St. Francis basketball. 4th rebound for Bailey Johnson, who also has 4 points. She played only 10 minutes in the first half after picking up a couple of early fouls. But the freshman has arguably been the most impressive player for the Saints the last few games. Can't afford for her to stay in foul trouble. Georgia Bolton, nice move in the post. And Bolton knocks down her 3rd shot of the game. She's now got a team-high 8 points. Back to a 3-point game. St. Francis has not led at any point. Blackwell drives, misses the shot, but she's fouled. Not only have the Saints not led, the Fighting Saints that is, they have not been tied, aside from 0-0. Aquinas did score on their first possession of the game, so they've led the entire way. Trying to add to their current lead. And as Blackwell misses the first free throw, that's the first free throw that Aquinas has missed today. They were 8 of 8 in the first half, 4 of those shots coming from the woman on the line right now, Blackwell. Second shot is good. Four-point game. Georgia Bolton drives around Wilkes, gets inside, and is fouled by Wilkes. Second foul on Ashlyn Wilkes. First foul on Aquinas this half. And St. Francis will inbound from the baseline. The sophomore Thormeyer will trigger this one in. Lobbed high for Bailey Johnson. Over to Kennelly. Mia Kennelly hands it off to Thormeyer. 12 on the shot clock for Georgia Bolton. Bolton backs her way in on Maddie Cermak. Underneath the basket, gives it up for Johnson, and Johnson loses the handle on the ball. It's taken away by Alexis Thomas. A little confusion in the paint that time. Kennelly was cutting. Pass was in the direction of both Kennelly and Johnson. Bailey Johnson couldn't make the play cleanly. Sierra Hardy misses the shot. Johnson is there for the rebound. Thormeyer flies down the floor for the Saints, out to Kennelly. 3-ball is good. Mia Kennelly had been 0 of 4 from beyond the arc, but she's got her first points of the game. St. Francis is starting to heat up from the outside. A 1-point game. This is as close as we've been today. Inside, Sierra Hardy, one dribble, layup, no good. Hardy's missed 2 in a row from in the paint. Johnson gets the rebound, throws it off the hand of Hardy, and deflected out of bounds by apparently Thormeyer, who says she didn't touch it. The officials get together. I think this is going to be Fighting Saints ball, and it is. Yeah, the official who called it St. Francis ball had a much better angle on it than the official who called it Aquinas ball, so that seemed like an easy reversal after they got together. Raleigh Thill, Jerry Frump, and Lawrence Wayne are the officials in today's game. 1-point game. St. Francis can take their first lead of the night right here. It's inside, Bailey Johnson, up and in. Over Bryn Reams. Johnson does give St. Francis their first lead today. 36-35, they've opened up the second half with a 7-1 advantage. Drive from Blackwell, and a foul is called on the floor against Georgia Bolton, number 3 on Bolton. St. Francis got into some foul trouble early today. Bolton, Johnson, and Gray all had 2 fouls in the first half, limiting their playing time. Bolton checks out. Harrison is in. Takara Harrison had 7 points in the first half. St. Francis went 4 minutes at the start of the game before they made their first field goal. And now Aquinas is going through a similar stretch to start the second half. A foul is called on the Fighting Saints after Georgia Bolton just picked up her third. Bailey Johnson is called for her 3rd foul. And like Bolton before her, Johnson will go to the bench. Kiki Gray is in. Bryn Reams, one bounce, passes outside. This is Cermak. Up top to Guernsey. Guernsey drives, throws it towards the rim and misses. So now 3 minutes into the half. They have not hit a field goal yet. They hit just one in the last 4 minutes and 20 seconds of regulation, or the first half, I should say. As Lorelei Thormeyer hits a 3-pointer. Saints lead is 4. And it's an 8-0 run for St. Francis. Pull-up jumper for Cermak is good to go. Maddie Cermak has her first points of the game. 39-37, that's just the second made basket in the last 7.5 minutes of game time for Aquinas. Lob down low for Gray. Gray's layup is good. 9 points for Kiki Gray in just 6 minutes on the floor. Guernsey passes to Alana Blackwell. Blackwell's been the star today for Aquinas and all season. 13 points, just 1 since halftime. Trying to add 2 more, but she misses off the back of the rim. St. Francis looks to continue their good run. It's Thormeyer passing to Gray. Outside Pellegrini, 3-pointer. On the money for Talia Pellegrini. Pellegrini averages 9 points per game. Those are her first 3 today. And St. Francis's lead is up to 7. They've been down by as many as 12 points. What a turnaround today for the Fighting Saints. Cermak, another long 2. This time it's an air ball. Rebounded by Gray and the Fighting Saints. They've got all the momentum. They have outscored Aquinas 15-3 since halftime. Harrison loses her footing and throws the ball away. Guernsey can't get a clean grip on it, but chases it down just before it goes out of bounds. Here's Sierra Hardy. Hardy, down low, stripped by Gray. Ball loose on the floor. Hardy picks it up to a cutting Blackwell, who draws the foul. Heady play by Blackwell and by Hardy as well. Blackwell was defended well. Once the ball was loose, though, all bets were off. A couple of Saints went after the ball. That left an opening underneath the hoop, and Blackwell was able to receive the pass and get herself to the free throw line. 5 minutes to play in the third quarter. 44-37 the score. And the first free throw is good for Blackwell. 14 for Blackwell. Senior guard makes her second foul shot as well. She is 7 of 8 from the free throw line tonight. Hasn't had a great shooting game, but she's made up for it at the free throw line. She pulls Aquinas within 5. Georgia Bolton with her 2 fouls back on the floor, or with her 3 fouls, I should say. Sat out a couple of minutes. Thormeyer over to Kennelly. Handoff to Thormeyer. Top of the key 3 is good. Lorelei Thormeyer has hit 2 from the outside now. All of a sudden, St. Francis is heating up from 3-point range, and they're pulling away in this game as a result. Bolton nearly took the ball away. She didn't. That left Emily Bissett wide open, and an easy layup for Bissett. She's got 4 points. 6-point lead for the Saints. They've been down by as many as 12 and up by as many as 8. Harrison to Kennelly. Handoff back to Takara Harrison. She tries the 3 and hits. The Saints missed their first 12 three-point attempts in today's game. They have been on fire ever since. Ashlyn Wilkes drives, runs into a wall, gives it up to the cutting Blackwell. Blackwell misses the layup. Second chance, no. Rebound tap, this time to Thormeyer. Saints are 7 of their last 9. That's the St. Francis Saints. 7 of their last 9 from 3-point range after starting 0 for 12. And they're 5 for 5 this half. Takara Harrison slices through the Aquinas defense and lays it in. 12 points for Harrison. Her second in a row in double figures. Wilkes misses the 3. Kennelly grabs the rebound. Quick possession for Aquinas. Never got the ball in the hands of Blackwell. St. Francis is pulling away here. Still a lot of time left, though. It's been a 23-point turnaround so far. They trailed by 12 in the second quarter. They lead by 11 now, but they turn the ball over as Kennelly's pass is wide of its target. 10th turnover of the game committed by the Fighting Saints. Bissett on the right wing, guarded by Georgia Bolton. Inside to a cutting Paige Guernsey. Guernsey creates space, throws it back out. Maddie Cermak drives, has the ball poked loose on the floor. We've got a tie up, and it's going St. Francis's way. Quick hands throughout this second half for the St. Francis defense. They've knocked the ball loose several times, and they force a turnover here. Number 9, that's actually the first turnover of the second half on Aquinas. Thormeyer over to Harrison. Guernsey tried to poke the ball loose, couldn't. The pass inside for Gray is intercepted. Nearly taken away by Kennelly, but Alexis Thomas is able to hold possession. Here's Blackwell bouncing it into the corner, around the screen. Jumper from Wilkes is no good. Rebound grabbed by the Fighting Saints. Two minutes remaining in the third quarter. It's Kennelly on the wing. To Pellegrini. Harrison to the right side. Thormeyer up top. Harrison for 3. Good. Takara Harrison. 15 points off the bench. And St. Francis has made 6 consecutive three-pointers here in the third quarter. They've got 26 points in the third. Turnaround is good in the paint for Alexis Thomas in response. 29 points in the first half for the Fighting Saints. They very well may outdo that in the third quarter alone. Harrison down low to Gray. One dribble. Gray turnaround off the glass. No. Rebound. Bissett, or Wilkes, sorry. There's Thomas from the free throw line. Well short. Not sure if Gray blocked that, but it was a foot in front of the rim as a loose ball foul is called on the Fighting Saints. Mia Kennelly has whistled for her third foul. So Kennelly's got 3, Bolton's got 3, Bailey Johnson has 3. Johnson checks in now, along with Akaya Baker, as Gray and Pellegrini sit down. Sierra Hardy is at the line for 2 shots. First one's good. She's 5 for 5 at the line. Hardy and Blackwell have both had big offensive games, but in large part at the free throw line. 2 of them have combined on 25 points today, but they're also a combined 6 of 22 from the field. So the free throws are saving their day right now. Both very good shooters typically, and neither one has been today. Takara Harrison backs in, working against Paige Gurgey, takes a step in and scores off the glass. Harrison's got 17. She's been the best player out there for St. Francis today. Guernsey working hard against Kennelly, flips it in. Paige Guernsey has 8 today for Aquinas. It's a 10-point game. Final half minute of the third quarter. Harrison holds. Fighting Saints will try to play for the final shot of the quarter. Harrison to Baker on the right side. Baker up top, Harrison, 4 seconds to shoot. Harrison crosses over, drives to the left, lays it up and in. Blew right by Guernsey, an easy layup for Harrison, and it does end the third quarter. St. Francis had 29 points in the first half. They had 30 in the third quarter, and they lead big with 10 minutes to play in this game. 59-47 is the score. The Fighting Saints led by as many as 14 in that third quarter after trailing by 12 in the second quarter. What a bounce back for St. Francis. Their score by quarters, they went from 8 points in the first to 21 to 30 in the third. So they, over the last couple of games, have been slow to start, but have really come on strong. Same thing on Saturday against Indiana Northwest. Slow start to that game. They trailed by 22 in the first half, came back, almost pulled off the upset win, but fell by 3. In that game, they had 26 points in the first half and 50 in the second half. We are looking like very similar numbers today. Takara Harrison, 19 points in the game. Harrison was 5 for 5 from the field in the third quarter, including 3 of 3 from three-point range. All the time I spent in the first half talking about how nobody can make three-pointers. St. Francis 6 for 6 from three-point range in the third and 12 of 14 from the field. What a turnaround for them. Aquinas basketball, they're not out of this by any means. It's a 12-point game with 10 minutes to play. Around the perimeter, it finds its way to Sierra Hardy. Hardy down to the corner, Alexis Thomas. Maddie Cermak bobbled it, but she keeps the possession alive. 7 to shoot for Blackwell. Blackwell blows right past Takara Harrison and lays it in. That's the first field goal of the second half for Alana Blackwell. Blackwell is now 5 of 16 from the field. She had missed her first 4 shots of the second half. Harrison is fouled. That's on the floor. It's on Sierra Hardy. And it's just the first foul of the game on Hardy. Thormeyer bounces in towards Johnson, poked away, and out of bounds. Saints ball. No time ran off the clock there. Thormeyer lobs it in this time for Johnson. Johnson creates some space, hands it to Pellegrini. Pellegrini lays it in. Good drive for the sophomore Talia Pellegrini. 5 points for her all this half. Pull up for Cermak, jumper misses. Rebound Thormeyer. Thormeyer taking it into the teeth of the Aquinas defense. Passes outside, and the Saints reset. 22 on the shot clock for Thormeyer. Bounce to Johnson, who hands it right back. Thormeyer tries to bring it inside. She has it stripped, knocked out of bounds. Fighting Saints basketball, 17 on the shot clock, 8:51 to play in regulation. Emily Bissett is in for Sierra Hardy for Aquinas. Johnson flips it to Thormeyer, who steps on the line. Sixth turnover of the game committed by Lorelei Thormeyer, who has 9 points tonight. Long possession for the Saints there. The ball was knocked out of bounds a few times. We had a foul, but ultimately fruitless. Blackwell, jab step to the left, drives to the right, and draws the foul going to the hoop. It's number 4 on Bailey Johnson. She's been in foul trouble all game. It was a bigger concern earlier. Now that the Saints have a 12-point lead, they may not be as worried about having to play without their star freshman for a little bit, as Blackwell makes the first free throw. Not that you ever want to see any of your players forced to sit on the bench. The Saints have picked it up from a lot of other positions. We'll see if they can keep that going for the final 8.5 minutes. It's a 10-point game. The Aquinas Saints are not going down quietly. Harrison fakes the three. Harrison drives to the left, kicks it into the corner. Pellegrini for 3, got it. 7 for 7 this half from beyond the arc. Pellegrini's hit 2 of those 7. She's got 8 points. Blackwell out to Wilkes. Wilkes gives it up to Cermak. Blackwell again, drives by Thormeyer and flips it in. Nice drive by Alana Blackwell, who's got 21 points. 9th game of the year for Aquinas. This makes it now 8 out of 9 that Blackwell has scored at least 20 points. She came into play today averaging 25 of them. That's the 3rd best number in the country. Timeout called by Aquinas as they trail by 11 with under 8 minutes to play in the game. St. Francis has established control after playing from behind for most of the way. They started to pull away from Aquinas, but it's no time to rest on their laurels, so they'll try to keep their foot on the gas pedal. They are 14 for 16 shooting the basketball in the second half. It's an incredible number. Close to 90%. And you got to figure that's not going to keep up. They're going to miss a few shots at some point. So they've got to make sure they stay tight on defense, because Aquinas has started to put the ball in the basket again a little bit. They've already scored 6 points here in the 3rd quarter themselves in just 2 minutes. Saints have a number of players in foul trouble. Johnson's on the bench now with 4. Both Kennelly and Bolton have 3. Pellegrini gives it to Thormeyer. Thormeyer finds Harrison. On the right side, Bolton. 11 to shoot. Georgia Bolton, top of the key, guarded by Maddie Cermak. Bolton can't find any space. Finally works her way down low. Finds Thormeyer in the corner, and Thormeyer hits the 3. That's Thormeyer's 4th three-pointer of the game. She's got 12 points today, and the lead is back up to 14, matching the game high for St. Francis. Three-pointer Ashlyn Wilkes, no good. Aquinas still has not connected from three-point range. Emily Bissett is there with the follow. 6 points for her off an offensive rebound. It's 11 offensive rebounds in the game for Aquinas. Still a 12-point lead for St. Francis, and it's a turnover. Harrison passed it to Bolton. Bolton was busy directing her teammates, was not ready for the pass. So Aquinas catches a break. I'm going to go out on a limb here and say that Aquinas will not win this game if they don't make any three-pointers. It's getting to that stage of the game with just 6:40 to go. They need some big possessions to get back in it. Jumper misses from Wilkes. Offensive rebound knocked out of the hands of Bissett. Now Bolton falls on top of it, and a timeout is called by St. Francis. Good hustle from the Fighting Saints. Georgia Bolton ends up diving on the loose ball. And the Fighting Saints prevent Aquinas from getting another second chance. 11 offensive rebounds in the game for Aquinas. They've got 12 second chance points, and that is one of the things that has kept them alive in this game. This Aquinas team played really well in the first half. They had a 5-point lead at intermission. They were up by 12 at their zenith. St. Francis really got off to a slow start offensively. They looked out of sorts out of the gate, and they have turned it around completely. And a big part of that is just their shots falling. They got a lot of good looks in the first half that didn't go, and all of a sudden the second half, those same shots are going in. It makes everything look a lot better. It doesn't mean the game plan has changed. It doesn't mean the effort has changed. Just the results are different. .29% three-point shooting team on the season. They're now at 42% today. They've made 10 of their last 12. Georgia Bolton brings it inside, double teamed, and she travels. Turnovers on back-to-back possessions for St. Francis. Not what you're looking for as you try to ice the game. Aquinas can cut it to 9 or 10. Blackwell's got 21 points. She takes it inside the three-point arc. Passes out to Cermak, off of the shins of Cermak, but she was able to keep it alive. Three from the corner. Paige Guernsey hits the three. They had been 0 of 12 from three-point land. Now they've got one. I said before, they won't win if they don't make a three. Now that statement will never be challenged. But that three-pointer means that they can win if the Fighting Saints don't put the clamps down. Here's Mia Canelli, lobbed inside for Bolton, off her fingertips, ball loose. And out of bounds off of Aquinas. 6 on the shot clock. Ball still belongs to St. Francis as Kiki Gray checks in for Mia Canelli. The Fighting Saints have outscored the Saints by 14 in this second half. Looking to put the game away. 3 on the shot clock. Pass deflected and stolen by Aquinas. This game is far from over. Alana Blackwell inside the three-point arc. Stops in the paint. Fires it off to Guernsey, who lays it in. 13 today for Paige Guernsey. That includes the last 5 points. And it means it's only a 7-point game. Here's Takara Harrison spinning into the paint. She passes out to Thormeyer. Fighting Saints could use a bucket here. Yeah, they've got the lead, but they've gone cold. Not necessarily from the field. They've been turning it over a lot. Georgia Bolton with 3 on the shot clock. Up with the left hand and in. First field goal in 3 minutes for St. Francis. They had turned it over on 3 consecutive possessions prior to that. But a big bucket makes it a 9-point game. Just under 4.5 minutes to play. Three-pointer, no good from Bissett. Rebound tracked down by Bolton. St. Francis runs a little bit of clock. Now Harrison drives, blocked and a foul. Foul called on Alana Blackwell. It'll send Takara Harrison to the line. Fighting Saints have not taken any free throws yet this half. In fact, they haven't taken a free throw since early in the second quarter. 69-60. Harrison can make it a double-digit game from the line here. She's hit both of her free throws so far today. She makes this one too. Best game of the season offensively for Harrison. She's got 20 points now. There's number 21. So she's gone toe-to-toe with Alana Blackwell, who has 21 for Aquinas. Their respective teams' leaders in scoring today. Under 4 minutes to play. Blackwell misses a three. Rebound tipped by Johnson into the hands of Pellegrini. One and done for Aquinas, and St. Francis is trying to salt this thing away. But a travel call, that doesn't help. It's the second time that Harrison has done that today. She's got 2 turnovers. They've both been travels. Actually, it's her second travel. She's turned it over a few other times as well. But an uncontested travel makes it Aquinas ball. Wilkes to Thomas. Alexis Thomas guarded by Johnson on the outside. Passes to a cutting Blackwell. And Alana Blackwell lays it in. 23 for Blackwell, keeping her team in it. Down by 9 with just over 3 minutes left. Johnson to Harrison. Harrison pulls back. Kennelly around to Thormeyer. She's hit 4 3-pointers today. Thormeyer can't receive the pass from Johnson, who tried to bounce it out in front of her, right into a sea of red shirts. A layup is good from Wilkes. Timeout called. 2:56 to play, 71-64. St. Francis has the lead. It's starting to slip away. You do see sometimes when you have a team as red hot as the Fighting Saints were for so long, it fades at a certain point. St. Francis was down by 12. They came all the way back and took a 14-point lead, so a 26-point turnaround in the span of about 15 minutes of game time. And then they sort of hit a wall. Not completely. They've still shot the ball exceptionally well here in the second half. 16 for 18. And that includes perfection from beyond the three-point line, where they've gone 8 of 8. But they've started to turn the ball over a lot, and it's become a concern here. They've turned it over 10 times in the second half. They haven't missed a field goal in the fourth quarter. And this kind of shows where they're at right now in terms of having that trouble protecting the basketball. They're perfect from the field this quarter, but they're -5 in points scored, because Aquinas has taken 8 more shots than they have. Saints have turned it over. Aquinas Saints have turned it over 9 times. The Fighting Saints have turned it over 17 times. Harrison far from the basket, but guarded by Blackwell. Crosses it back to the top, bounces it in for Johnson. Ball poked away. Johnson dives on top of it and gets the timeout called with 11 on the shot clock, 2:36 in the game. Wasn't a pretty play for St. Francis, but that's a big deal that they got that timeout, because they just can't afford to turn it over again. Again, 17 times, including 10 this half. Aquinas have turned it over more than them at halftime, 8-7. But Aquinas has coughed it up just once here in the second half. St. Francis 10 times, and Fighting Saints, who can't seem to miss when they take shots, also just can't seem to get any shots off. So they're talking over on the sideline right now. An inbounds play that can create a relatively quick shot. Certainly doesn't have to be immediate with 11 on the shot clock, but they're not going to have enough time to run a full possession here, so they've got to start looking for their shots pretty early on this possession. Thormeyer sends it into Johnson. Johnson working against Alexis Thomas. Turnaround with a right hand is good. Bailey Johnson has 8 points. The lead is back up to 9. Every bucket at this point for the Fighting Saints is huge as Blackwell's pass deflected, still finds Hardy. Hardy misses the jumper. The rebound is grabbed by Takara Harrison. Down by 9 late in the game. Every possession feels like do or die for Aquinas. They came up on the wrong end of back-to-back possessions. Saints scored on their side and Aquinas did not on theirs. Under 2 minutes to play. Thormeyer looking around for help, finds Harrison. Harrison's got 21 today. She lobs it to Bailey Johnson. Jumper from the free throw line is short. Rebound grabbed by Thomas. Aquinas needs to score here. And they'll get a chance from the line as Paige Guernsey is fouled by Bailey Johnson. Johnson's day is done. Bailey Johnson, 8 points, 6 rebounds in 18 minutes today. And she has fouled out. She's replaced by Georgia Bolton. Two big foul shots for Paige Guernsey, and she makes the first. Been a big game for Guernsey. She's got 12 points. Just 7 of 12 from the free throw line this season coming into today, and she, true to form, makes 1 of 2, but the Fighting Saints can't grab the rebound. So another chance for Aquinas. They can still make this a 3 or 4 point possession. Blackwell drives, layup, rolls around and falls with 3 defenders in her way. Blackwell is able to cut through them and score. She's got 25 to match her season average. Just a 6-point game all of a sudden. Fighting Saints need some points here. They missed their first field goal of the fourth quarter on their last possession. Here's Thormeyer. Out to Kennelly, 4 on the shot clock. Mia Kennelly has to force up a long 3. It's an air ball and a shot clock violation. Or out of bounds, either way. Timeout called by Aquinas. 57.6 seconds left. St. Francis is 17 of 21 from the field this half. And yet they find themselves locked up in a tight one. It feels the way they've shot like they should have pulled away, but it just hasn't happened. They started to. They led by 14. But Aquinas has also shot the ball well here down the stretch. 57% in the fourth quarter, including their first made three-pointer of the game. They are 1 of 15 from beyond the arc. That's a big notch in favor of St. Francis right now. 6-point game, 58 seconds left. Aquinas doesn't necessarily need a three-pointer in order to win this thing, but 6-point game, if you're shooting nothing but twos, is at least 3 possessions, which means they would at some point be put into a position where they're going to have to foul. Lobbed inside, Guernsey wide open, lays it in. It's just a 4-point game. No need yet for Aquinas to foul. We'll see if St. Francis tries to run the clock down under 30 seconds here, or if they try to make a move at least early in the possession. Thormeyer's running clock. And now Adam Schwarzentraub wants them to move. This is Thormeyer driving from the left side. She's bumped. That's only the 3rd foul on Aquinas. So you figure they're going to have to commit those fouls at some point, but the shot clock was down to 10, so not a great time for it, as Guernsey is called for her 3rd. Thormeyer into Kennelly. Handoff back to Thormeyer. Now they're going to have to foul again, and Guernsey does. Hasn't been the best use of their fouls here. For one thing, they've been waiting a little bit too long to commit them, and for another, it's been Guernsey both times. So Guernsey, who's been one of the best players out there today, now has 4 fouls. And now they're going to have to foul probably quickly, because there are only 8 seconds separating the shot and game clocks, which means that the Fighting Saints could run this down under 10 seconds and essentially end the game. So they'll send Thormeyer to the line right away. If they didn't foul, Figure the Fighting Saints, even if they miss both free throws, or even if they didn't score, I should say, if there was no foul, they could have run the clock down under 10 seconds, had a 2-possession lead. And Aquinas would be hoping for a miracle at that point. At the beginning of this possession, Aquinas didn't need to foul. They waited a long time to do it and ultimately got nothing out of it as Thormeyer makes both free throws and makes it 75-69. So really not great clock management from Aquinas, because they let the Fighting Saints run 20 seconds off the clock and then fouled 3 times in a row. So if you're just going to commit those 3 fouls, you do it right away and you can get the ball back down 6 with 50 seconds left instead of with 25 seconds left. Or you play straight up defense on that possession. You get the ball back with 25 seconds left, but only down by 4. But they kind of picked the middle path there, which is let the clock run and then foul. And it plays to the home team's benefit. So Lorelei Thormeyer, after making 2 free throws, has 14 points today for the Saints. Aquinas ball, 26.7 on the clock. Alexis Thomas fires inside. Alana Blackwell, layup is good. 19.5 on the clock. 4-point game. Harrison gets it into Georgia Bolton. And a timeout called by the St. Francis bench. So I believe before the inbounds pass was thrown is when the timeout was granted. Aquinas' bench was calling for a foul on the offense. But the timeout was called before any contact. I don't know if there would have been a foul called regardless, but it doesn't matter because the play never happened. The inbounds pass was never achieved by the Fighting Saints. So 75-71 here. What a weird game. Aquinas led by double digits in the first half. St. Francis started their comeback late in the second quarter. They cut a 12-point deficit down to 5 before the half ended. And then started out the second half on a crazy run. Ended up pushing themselves ahead by as many as 14 in the third quarter. So they had a 26-point turnaround in the span of only about 15 minutes of game action. And now in this second half, the Saints have never cooled off. The Fighting Saints, that is. They've never cooled off. They still just can't miss. They're 17 for 21 shooting the ball in the second half, but they've been turning the ball over a lot. Aquinas has not. Aquinas has shot 60% in this fourth quarter. 8 more attempts. And so the visiting Saints have been on the comeback trail, and they've been doing it effectively. Alana Blackwell has 25 points. Takara Harrison leads St. Francis with 21 points. 3 Fighting Saints are in double figures. Thormeyer's got 14, Bolton's got 10. 2 of Thormeyer's 14 came from the free throw line on the last possession. This time it'll be Talia Pellegrini going to the line for 2 shots. Pellegrini's a 78% foul shooter. So that's the other head scratcher about Aquinas' management of the clock on that last possession. Eventually, they sent one of the best free throw shooters on the Saints to the line, and they've done it again. Pellegrini makes the first. You can make an argument at this point that there's not enough time on the clock to be choosy. You just foul whoever's got the ball first. Pellegrini makes them both. Timeout called by Aquinas. But it certainly wasn't the case earlier. Go back the last 30 seconds. They've had plenty of options for who to foul. To be fair, there really is nobody in St. Francis' lineup that you want to send to the line. This is a good free throw shooting team. Pellegrini, who just made 2 out of 2, is at 78%. Lorelei Thormeyer hit 2 of 2. She's at 78% for the year. Takara Harrison is an 83% foul shooter. Georgia Bolton, 82%. Mia Kennelly's made 9 out of 10 this year. Actually, reading all those numbers out loud, striking me that it really is pick your poison. there's probably not one out of those 5 that you would prefer over any of the others if you're the visitor. St. Francis has been very good from the line tonight. 11 of 12 as a team, including 4 out of 4 in clutch time here late. Aquinas has been great from the line as well. St. Francis wants to make sure they don't foul here. Ball lost out of bounds. It is St. Francis possession. They tried to get it into Alana Blackwell. Blackwell didn't make the catch cleanly. The ball went out, and it is St. Francis ball, 16.3 on the clock. And if they can get it in here, make a few more free throws, that might be it. Into Thormeyer, and Thormeyer's going back to the line. No time ever seems to run off the clock lately, and for as much criticism as I've done of Aquinas' clock management over the last few minutes, you can't say that for them, that the last 4 possessions have taken a combined 9 seconds. Thormeyer makes the first free throw. And that should probably do it. It's a 3-possession game now. Aquinas has made only 1 3-pointer today. Thormeyer makes the second shot as well. 79-71. And Aquinas is in desperation mode now. Blackwell. 3-point attempt is blocked by Thormeyer. Hardy gets the rebound, scores, and draws the foul, and that is the last thing the Saints wanted to do. The 3-point effort from Ashlyn Wilkes was blocked. Good defensive play by Thormeyer to block the shot, but an unlucky break for St. Francis because the block shot created a chance for an offensive rebound. And now Hardy can make this a 3-point play and misses the foul shot. Rebound Bissett, bounces it into Guernsey. Guernsey is fouled going up. 2 seconds left in the game. It's probably elementary at this point. But when you have a lead late, the last thing you want to do is foul twice in the last 10 seconds. First free throw for Guernsey is good. That's been Aquinas' game today, those offensive rebounds. They helped build the lead in the first half. They helped keep them in the game in the second half. 16 second chance points for Aquinas, make it 18 after those 2 free throws. And with 2 seconds left, Adam Schwarzentraub calls timeout to advance the ball into the front court. And all that the Fighting Saints really need to do to win the game now is inbound it. As long as somebody touches it, it'll likely be game over. They might as well make things a little bit more difficult on Aquinas by advancing the ball past half court. That way, even if they are able to steal the inbounds pass, they won't be in position for a quick shot. The only route that I can see to an Aquinas victory here would be if they were to steal the inbounds pass, or I guess create a turnover on a 5-second call. If the Saints throw the ball out of bounds, give it back to Aquinas without the clock running. But even in that case, Aquinas then would need to make a 3-pointer immediately and get fouled in the process and hit the free throw. So a lot of things need to go Aquinas' way. But the fact that I can lay out a scenario means that the game isn't over yet. Fighting Saints do need to get it in bounds. Takara Harrison is the inbounder. Harrison gets it in to Canelli, and that'll do it. St. Francis comes up with the win. 79-75 is our final score. And there were elements late in the game that were not necessarily pretty for St. Francis, but at the end of the day, they overcame a 12-point first half deficit to come up with a victory, and that is pretty impressive on its own. So a good game overall for the Fighting Saints. They come up with the win, and they leave home after 3 straight here at the Sullivan Center. They won 2 out of the 3, beating Trinity Christian last week, and today knocking off Aquinas by a 79-75 final score. With the victory, they improved their record overall this year to 6-4. Takara Harrison was the leader with 21 points. 4 Fighting Saints were in double figures. Lorelei Thormeyer had 16. Both Georgia Bolton and Talia Pellegrini finished with 10 points today. Kiki Gray just missed with 9 points. She also led the team with 8 rebounds in only 10 minutes played. Bailey Johnson had 8.6 rebounds. Mia Kennelly had 7 rebounds and 3 assists for the Fighting Saints. Aquinas was led by Alana Blackwell. Blackwell had 27. Paige Guernsey, really nice game for Aquinas today. 18 points, 4 assists, 3 steals. She shot 7 of 9 from the field. And she sold seashells by the seashore too. Final numbers team-wide. St. Francis shot 51% from the field. They were 17 for 21 in the second half, better than 80% shooting. Aquinas was 41% for the game. Really, Aquinas' undoing was the three-point shooting, 1 for 16 from three-point range in the game today. St. Francis started poorly. They were 0 for 12. They finished the game 10 for their last 13 shooting threes. That includes 8 of 9 on three-point attempts in the second half, and their only miss was a Mia Kennelly desperation shot with the shot clock running down. So well done by St. Francis, turning it around in the second half, shooting very impressively. They'll try to carry that hot shooting touch onto the road up next. Their next home game is December the 21st. So we'll have that broadcast for you here. It's going to be an afternoon contest. The week of Christmas, December 21st, a Thursday. Next time you'll hear my voice, and I hope you're with us for that one. Today the Saints knock off the Saints of Aquinas. 79-75 our final score. With the victory, St. Francis improves their record on the season to 6-4. With the loss, Aquinas drops their record to 3-6. That does it for today. Thanks for tuning in. Hopefully you enjoyed yourselves over the last couple of hours. Talk to you again in a couple of weeks when the Fighting Saints return to the Sullivan Center. It's a light schedule for December. Just 2 more games overall this month, 1 on the road and 1 at home. Again, that home game is December 21st. Until then, Terry Bonadonna signing off for the University of St. Francis. Have a good night.